What's up, guys? Your girl Valerie Red is back. Hope everybody is doing good. I have definitely missed y'all, but y'all knew I was going to come in here and speak with y'all because our girl Nicki Minaj just dropped her new single, okay? But was it a mic drop or did she just drop the ball? So let's get into it. We're going to chop it up, but before we do, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like the video, guys. Please don't be stingy. Show your girl some love by smashing that like button. All right. So Nicki Minaj's single, Red Ruby the Sleeze, dropped at midnight. And there's so much hype around the song, so much anticipation was created that I couldn't wait to listen to it. So you know I had to listen to the song a couple of times to run my girl's streams up, run it up, run it up. And I also looked up the lyrics, and I want to get into all of that. But I'm going to be honest. Y'all know that's what I do. I keep it real. I do have mixed feelings about the song, because I feel like it was definitely a lyrical song, and Nicki did her big one with the double meanings, the metaphors, and the punchlines. I'll say it was definitely like a little bop, and it gave me all the nostalgia that I was expecting from her sampling Luma D's 2003 song, Never Leave You, aka Uh-Oh. However, I was kind of expecting a little bit more from Nicki since she was coming out of a long hiatus. With her being on hiatus for so long and coming back out with this new song dropping, I was just expecting something a little different. I think the song is definitely a bop. Like it's definitely going to go off in the clubs for sure, because the sample was already a popular song and beat. And the only thing you need to have a successful club banger these days is a good beat. At this point, the lyrics don't even matter for club bangers. And even though Nicki is a lyrical genius, I don't think it's going to be the lyrics that make the song go off in the clubs. I think it's going to be the beat and the beat along, which is, it's fine. She's smart. She chose the right beat. So after listening to the song, I was definitely expecting her to come a little bit harder. All the fans on Twitter and Instagram, they were teasing about this new comeback, this return of Roman with this song. So I definitely was expecting the song to be a little bit more, I don't know, like monsterish. If I'm being honest, I feel like Nicki is still kind of stuck in the 2010 to 2015 era with this whole singing while she raps thing. Like, I feel like she really wants to keep singing in her songs. And I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of over Nicki Minaj's singing era. Like, I kind of don't want to hear her sing anymore in the songs. I want to hear straight up bars and flow, like Roman Revenge type of vibe, like monster type of vibe. And that's not to say that she doesn't have a good singing voice, because she does have a good singing voice. But when you have songs out like Glorilla and Cardi B's Tomorrow 2 and Ice Spice's EP that are charting and just going off, going crazy, I kind of want her to be able to sit in her queendom and surpass these girls. And when she's dropping music where she's just basically singing primarily the whole time, it's kind of like, I feel like she's forfeiting that spot to the other songs that are out, like Ice Spice's song In Her Mood or Glorilla's song Tomorrow 2. And I do understand that this is Nicki Minaj, so she doesn't have to compete with anybody. Y'all don't have to chop my head off, especially not no new girls that's coming out, right? She doesn't have to compete. But when you think about it, if it wasn't for her having such a large fan base, would the song be charting at all? Because it's just, in my opinion, it's just, the sound is just not the current sound. It's not the current wave right now. Like, it's not the sound that's lit right now, if you get what I'm saying. I feel like people really don't want to hear all the complicated bars and lyrics anymore. Because we're in the new wave of music, the new generation of music, and it's given like, all of these ratchet, hard, ghetto, like hard spitting female rappers are coming out and making it to the top and getting nominated for Grammys, So I feel like you have people like Glorilla out, you have people like Cardi B out, you have Ice Spice, they're coming out and they're giving this vibe of like this hard hitting street or drill type of vibe. And even the City Girls was trying to pick up on that vibe. And I feel like Nicki is still doing her own thing. Like, she doesn't really follow the new sounds, which I understand. But I feel like she's just making music for herself instead of making music for the public, if that makes any sense. Because I feel like as an artist, when they make music, it is a form of their own expression, right? Art is a form of expression. So when they're expressing themselves through the music, which is art, I feel like they can do one of two things. They can either make music that the fans, the masses, or the public is going to want to hear, or they can make music that they feel safe making, like music that is close to their heart and just expresses what's on their heart, right? But that might not really connect with the public, so to speak. And to be honest, I feel like Nicki's doing the latter. You know, she's just really trying to stick to what's close to her heart. You know, she's trying to stick to just, you know, her true self. Like she always has. And, you know, it seems like she's always kind of wanted to have that singing in her music. Like she's always wanted to be like this Drake or Lauryn Hill kind of artist where she can sing and rap at the same time. But I still just kind of feel like that era is kind of slowly like ebbing away. Like that era is over. Like it definitely worked for her in 2015, but I don't think it's going to continue to work in 2023, if you get what I'm saying. So in my opinion, nobody really wants to hear the singing anymore. Like, even Drake, I think he was talking about how he's heading for retirement soon. I think he said something about that. And he's trying to figure out how to gracefully bow out of music. And I'm feeling like because maybe his sound is just not working anymore. You know what I mean? There's a whole new wave of music that's coming in with these new artists, right? And even if you look at Beyonce even knows that you have to be able to switch up your style in order to keep up with the industry. I mean, if you just keep putting out music solely for yourself and for your core fan base and not the public, you're going to kind of fall behind. And I just don't want to see that happen to my girl, Nicki. I don't think that it will actually happen soon because her fan base is really, really large. But I do feel like eventually even those fans are going to grow old and they're not going to care anymore. So like I said earlier, I feel like if it wasn't for her having that large fan base, I don't even think that this song would be making too much noise. But she has such a large fan base that, you know, we're going to hold her down and we're going to make sure that it makes noise. But, you know, eventually we're all going to get older. So, you know, and I really hate to say that because I really do love Nicki. Like, that is my girl. But I just don't think that this song would really stand a chance on a chart or like on a radio level next to songs like Tomorrow 2, where you have just like the street girls rapping and spitting hard. Like, Nicki, come on, girl, please. The singing, just let it go. It's getting old. I love you, but I'm sorry. Please let the singing go. I love your voice, but let's get back into the rap bag, okay? Get back into your Roman's Revenge bag. Shoot, even get back into the Whole Lot of Money bag. Because to be honest, that remix, that was probably like the hardest thing that I think she came out with recently. Like, it still brought us that whole nostalgia of old Nicki. Like, when she was like, hold on, Holiday, hold on, Holiday. You can't give it to him dry like that. Like, you know, that took us all the way back to the old Nicki. Like, you know, run it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was really like a vibe. You know what I mean? It was so hard. So I feel like now with her just putting out these records where she just wants to sing and, you know, give these old references, like even the references that she's giving about Christopher Reeves or the Married with Children reference, Kelly Bundy, like I just feel like they're a little old and outdated. And like I feel like those references, like a lot of her fans, like we grew up with her. So a lot of her core fans, we're able to understand those references easy. But the streaming generation, this new generation of people, you know, the younger kids, the one that's doing most of the streaming and buying and all of that, they're not going to be able to get those references right off the bat like her older, more core fans would. So I just want her to come with more of like a fresh and up-to-date vibe and sound because the competition is heating up. Okay, I hate to say it because she's always going to be number one in my book, but you know, there's some competition that's coming up. So I just don't want to see her fall by the wayside because she doesn't want to put out music that's going to appeal to the new audiences or the new generation. Like, she's still just putting out music for herself and not for the public. So that's my take on it. I do want to point out some of the lyrics though, because she did have a couple of bars in there. You know, anytime you have to go on Twitter though, and you have to kind of literally write out what your lyrics mean and what they say because people just won't get it from listening to it directly. I feel like that's a little bit much. You know, the bars were definitely there, but you know, I just feel like Nicki, girl, people don't want to have to go and do research on who Christopher Reeves is. Like, people don't want to have to do all of that. They just want to be able to turn the song on and just vibe out. So I had to be honest about that. I was a little disappointed with that portion of the song, with, the older references and things like that, and that it wasn't kind of like the newer wave. I mean, don't get me wrong, though. I was definitely shaking my little rump. I was doing my little twerk, you know what I'm saying? Because the beat definitely had me nostalgic, and all the anticipation of the song had me going crazy. But after I listened to it a couple times, I was like, okay, it was cute. But, will the sound actually stick? And I really want Nicki to take notes from Beyonce, because Beyonce always switches up her style with every album release. She's doing something different so that she stays relevant, Like, she always finds a way to stay within the sound that's relevant at the time. And I really want Nicki to be able to do that same thing. Okay, so let's get into some of the song lyrics that stood out to me, because this was definitely a bar for bar type of situation with this song. So I got to give my girl some props and credit, because her lyrics are always given and they always cause a conversation. So let's get into the lyrics now. The first slick bar that I noticed was in the opening line when she says, "Only on them seas if it's a breeze, Red Ruby to Sleeze." I feel like that was a reference and a shout out to her longtime friend, Chris Brown, aka C Breezy, which I thought was kind of cute and clever all at the same time. Then when she went on to say, "Chinese on my sleeve, these wanna be Chun-Li's," and then she says, "Who the F told bees they was me now?" So I feel like we can all kind of infer from that. Like, we all know she's shading all of her sons who try to imitate her style. But I feel like this could have really been a shot at Cardi B, Doja Cat, and also Lotto, because it seems like Cardi has been the main one trying her hardest to get her doctors to perform these surgeries on her faces to get her to look like Nicki Minaj. And I also feel like it could have been a shot at Doja and Lotto, because they are the ones that have seemed to... They seem to like take her whole style and her whole blueprint, like trying to go pop with their rap career, seeing how it worked for Nicki at the start of her career. So I feel like them two are definitely the ones that's trying to follow suit with that by running to the pop scene. You know what I mean? At the start of their careers as well. She also says, "Married a shooter, case you niggas tried to breathe loud." I feel like she had to put that in the song to kind of explain the whole Sleeze alter ego that she has now. As some of you guys may know, Sleeze was the name that her husband, Kenneth Petty, gave her once she became affiliated with him in the quote-unquote gang life, allegedly. And people couldn't really understand why she was dealing with somebody like Kenny, who had these ties to the street and to the gangs, allegedly. Gotta say that. But if you remember, during the hate train, there was a lot of men who was trying to come for Nicki because they thought that she was alone. They thought she was unprotected. People like Charlemagne, Joe Budden, Ebro, and DJ Academics, just to name a few, right? But now that she's with Kenny and the goons, all the goons is around, these men haven't had that same energy. It's been real quiet. So, like Nicki says in the song, she's even had to tell the goons to cease fire because these men don't want that smoke anymore. It's a different energy now. Another thing that stood out to me, and we all knew from the snippet that Nicki released days before the song came out, where she said, "But I don't F with horses since Christopher Reeves." We all knew that she was taking a shot at Megan Thee Stallion. So I also thought that was a slick bar as well. Shout out to her. The hook was also cute and catchy for me. She says, "Bad girl don't die, die, die." So basically that means she ain't going nowhere. 100 rounds on that gratata. Real one look a shatata. She my little vibe, my little ah. Bad girl don't run from nobody like ah. Rude boy want me touching on his body like yeah. Boy, I be dead if he ever diss me. You know what to do if he ever miss me. So I thought that was real cute and catchy, you know what I mean? After listening to it a couple times, I was like kind of like, vibing to it. So I thought it was cute. Now, in my opinion, and I could be wrong with this, I could be reaching, but I think when she said, "She's my little vibe, my little I feel like maybe she was giving a shout out to Dream Doll, who had that one song called I. And the lyrics was something like, I got the hookah, who got the bottle, who got the I. That was the song, right? So, like, what's T Nicki like? Did y'all squash y'all beef or something? Or am I just reaching? I don't know. Because I do know that I've heard that lingo before. The lingo, the I lingo, like from people who live in New York. So maybe it's just a New York thing. I'm not sure about that. But I kind of caught that. I was like, oh, that was Dream Doll's little song, Okay. But I could be wrong about that. So the next set of lyrics that stood out to me was in her second verse when she said, when the queen leave, bees want to come out like a cockroach until I'm cooking in the kitchen like a pot roast. That new Spectra, we don't fill potholes. Whew, okay, so this this right here sent me through a loop, child, because I felt like it was a lot of slang used here. It was a lot of double meanings and punchlines and double entendres. It was a lot of it. To me, she was basically saying that when she's active and she's outside, like it's lights out. It's bedtime for these other rap girls. There's no space for them when she's around. Like when she starts cooking, like cooking up in the studio, there's no room for these other rap girls. Like they can't compete. And she also says we don't fill potholes, which can be slang for women who are like fast or loose or what we would call today a 304, you know, girls who sleep around for drugs or money, basically. And she followed that up with Dorito bees mad that they not chose. So I definitely feel like she was coming for girls like Lotto, who definitely need to follow Nicki's blueprint and who sleep around with married men to get their bills paid, right? Then she followed that up with shout out to hoes that's watching me like movados, right? So again, explaining how the new girls and, you know, especially women like Lotto, how they're hoes, and they're using her, watching her moves, using her as a blueprint. Hi, Lotto. Okay. Anyway, I hope y'all following me here because this woman, Nicki Minaj, her mind is crazy, right? There's so many meanings here, right? She says that new Spectra, we don't fill potholes, right? So the Spectra that she's talking about, I think refers to some kind of car. I believe it's the new Ghost car that came out, or it could be the new Phantom that just came out. I'm not sure which one, but I'm leaning more towards the new Ghost because of what she says in the following lyrics. But I basically feel like she's saying that these girls got to get ghosts when she steps out. You know, then I picked up another meaning, which I don't really want to say too much because it involves, you know, the drug game, allegedly, when she basically says that her new car, that new Spectra, doesn't fill potholes, meaning she's not filling it with pot or weed or marijuana. She's probably filling it with other kinds of weight that she's, you know, moving, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? allegedly, okay? All right, let's move on. The next lyric that I enjoyed was when she said, all them botched face photos, why would you post those? Now, we all know she clearly taking a shot at Cardi B again for her having these multiple facial surgeries, trying to look like her. And then again, she makes a reference to a ghost, which is why I think the car she's referring to is the new Ghost. When she says, make a guile duppy, since I heard you like my ghost, hoes. And a duppy, I looked it up, it's just another word for ghost. So again, she's saying she make these girls disappear or go ghost. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That could have been a shot at Remy Ma as well, since Remy, her career ended basically after she tried to come for Nicki Minaj. Or it could be like, you know, like I said before, she's talking about these new girls having to go ghost when she's active because they just can't share her spotlight. You know, they can't compete. She also says, these bees rapping like my blooper roll. That was hilarious to me. Like, girl, these bees rapping like my bloopers. Like, come on. Like, the blooper didn't even make it into the scene, but you rapping like that. So you really studying me. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. And then she also said, bees couldn't walk in my Crocs. That's word to Dundee. So the lyrics, again, they stood out to me because I just feel like she's clearing all of these rap girls. She's clearing all of them and letting them know that, you know, she can see that they're trying to copy her, that they're watching her and, you know, trying to copy her stilo, but that they would never be able to walk in her shoes in this music game. She then goes on to call them slow again. And then she says, 600 horse, how you gonna catch the balls? Caught them with their hand out trying to catch the sauce. Theory Mugler flow trying to cut the cloth. So I feel like basically she's saying she's cut from a whole different cloth than these new girls and that they could never get the sauce or the juice that she has. And it's just impossible, you know? My girl's clever with these lyrics. You know, I always give her that. I always give credit where credit is due. So I got to give her props. Like these lyrics always, you know, send you on a whirlwind. You know what I mean? So I got to give her that. And then finally, I loved when she was like, see, the difference is I run businesses. If I employ you, then what your business is. So I feel like she's basically saying that, like, you know, she's a gatekeeper in this female rap game. Like, this is her shit. You know what I mean? And if you want to come in this game, you have to put some respect on her name. And if you cross her, then it's basically like, you know, you're committing career suicide. Like, she's basically saying if she doesn't approve of you, then it's curtains for you. Now, I know that was kind of a lot that I broke down. And, you know, with Nicki Minaj, she's always going to give us a mouthful, you know, that is going to like twist our brains up and give us something that we can chew on for the entire year. You know what I mean? And that is the part that I liked about the song. The actual lyrics, when I got a chance to check out the lyrics and see, you know, like I said, her mind is just amazing, right? That's the part that I really, really enjoyed, right? This was more than a song for me. It was like a whole moment that she was really, you know, addressing. She was just clearing and addressing everything. You know, don't play with her. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. That's basically what she was saying. And even though I wish that, you know, she really would have came out from her hiatus with more of a current, up-to-date sound, you know, just for the sake of the charts and, like, you know, being able to compete with the new girls' sounds and the new wave of music that's coming out. I do feel like, you know, Nicki had a lot of fun with this song and that she's just being true to herself and having fun. So I love that for her. I just really do want her to get into a new bag now. I want her to start delivering us more of a fresh sound. I want her to, you know, take notes from Beyonce and really just, like, you know, stay relevant with everything, her references, her bars, because she can do it. You know what I mean? She can. Like, she can compete with these new girls and these new sounds that's coming out. She can chew them up and spit them out with their own sound. And that's really what I want her to do. So again, I was a little disappointed. I do feel like she could have came a little bit harder. She might have dropped the ball a little bit with the sound and the wave, but she never disappoints with the lyrics. Okay, so I'm definitely proud of her for that. That's all I have for you guys today. I'm about to go and head over and listen to the new episode of Queen Radio. I might come back and chop it up with y'all about that. I'm not sure yet, but before you guys get out of here, before you leave, please remember, like this video. Don't be stingy. Smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Share the video. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.